In this video, I'm gonna share some winter travel essentials that you can pack if you're traveling during winter. I just wanna note here that in this video, I'm referring more to your standard leisure trip or vacation. So I'm not really talking about packing for a big ski trip or snowboarding trip, because for those trips, you definitely need some heavy gear. And unfortunately, if that's what you're looking for, this isn't the video for you. However, if you are doing just your standard, leisurely trip or vacation in a destination that is cold during winter, then this video is for you. And you're gonna wanna stay tuned to hear about my secret weapon that is gonna help you sleep so good at night. Let's start with clothing. The first type of clothing I wanna talk about are things to help you layer. So these are things like thermals or base layers. These are essential for keeping your body warm and it'll keep the heat in. So for me, this includes base layers to wear underneath my clothing and long johns or leggings to wear underneath pants, skirts, and dresses. The good thing about these layers is that if you get hot, you can pull off some of the outer layers to cool your body off a little bit. I try to have 2 to 3 layers depending on the destination and how cold it's gonna be. So for thermals and base layers, a lot of people will say that merino wool is the ideal material because it's soft, it's breathable, it's moisture wicking, which is really good, especially if you tend to sweat a lot, and it's odor resistant, which is also good for traveling because you can wear it multiple times on a trip and you don't have to worry about smelling too bad. You can get some really good merino wool pieces online at places like Unbound Merino, Smart Wool, Merino Tech, and you can find a couple pieces online on Amazon. Merino wool probably is the best material, but it's not the cheapest. So if you are looking for some good base layers, but you want to maybe save a little money or not spend as much, then you can opt to get blended materials or synthetic materials. I really like the Heat Tech line from Uniqlo. They have some really great base layer options and at really good price points. And they call their whole base layer collection innerwear. I also want to shout out Sheertex. They have rip resistant tights and they are really good. I have the semi-opaque tights. They are fantastic. I wear them primarily in winter and I put them under skirts and dresses. They keep me warm. I've never had a problem with ripping. You know those moments where you have like a snag in your nail or you broke a nail and then you go to pull on tights and you rip a hole in them. I've never had that with Sheertex and they're really comfortable. They have this like control top. So anyway, check them out. Those are really good as well. When you're packing for traveling during winter, think about your trip as a whole, because although it's winter and although it is going to be cold, you are most likely going to be going in and out of the cold depending on the type of trip. And you want to take all of that into account. Think about things like what kind of city or destination are you going to? Are you going to be walking a lot? Are you going to be taking a tour? Is that tour going to be outside? So all of these things you want to think about. And of course, sometimes it's hard to know, especially if you're not the one planning the trip, but you just want to give some of these things some thought and adjust accordingly. Oh, and you also want to think about your accommodation. You might be staying at a hotel that might have a really nice rooftop heated pool. And so you might want to enjoy that and take advantage of that. So also remember to pack a bathing suit. The second winter travel essential that I want to talk about within clothing are socks. So for me, socks go hand in hand with the base layers. And I think it's because when you're packing for winter, it's so easy to focus on having warm, cozy sweaters, a good, thick, solid coat that we forget to keep our feet warm. And that is also really important. Like I said, with the base layers, merino wool is a really good material for comfortable socks because they're breathable and temperature regulating. But you can also get some wool socks. And honestly, even those fuzzy socks, and I usually wear those at night, can also be good for keeping your feet warm as well. The next winter travel essential in the clothing category is a good, functional coat. You can go several different ways with this one, and that's all gonna depend on you, your trip, your destination, all of those things. But I'm gonna walk you through a couple of options that have worked for me and that you can think about for your trip. So the first is a foldable jacket or foldable coat. I have this one from Uniqlo. It's the ultra light down jacket. Now this is more of a jacket than a coat, but I like it for winter for a couple of different reasons. Okay, the first is that it's travel friendly. It folds into its own carrying carrying case that is attached to the jacket. And this is great because you don't have to worry about losing the pouch. It's already attached to the jacket. Another reason why I love this jacket is because it's versatile. So you could wear it as a top layer, right? As your outer layer, and then wear several layers underneath. And again, this is all going to depend on how cold the destination is that you're traveling to. Another way that you can wear this jacket is to layer it with another piece of outerwear. So for example, you could have this jacket underneath a long wool coat or even a short puffy jacket, and you could just have it showing at the bottom. The only downside to this particular jacket is that it doesn't have a hood. If you are looking for that, they have the ultra light down long coat, and that one does have a hood and it's longer. It's also travel friendly because it also folds into a pouch as well. In my opinion, this one is a little bit better as an outer coat. Patagonia also has the women's micro puff jacket. There are two options with that one. There's the micro puff jacket and then the micro puff hoodie. Both of these are packable and they fold into themselves, which is travel friendly. There's also the Cotopaxi Fuego hooded down jacket. This comes in some beautiful, beautiful colors, and again, very travel friendly, folds into itself, into its own pouch. Another option is also the Half Days Nelly packable puffer jacket. I think this one would be a really good option for anyone who is very active when they travel. The cool thing about this particular jacket is that it folds into itself. It's foldable as well, but it folds into a travel pillow with a trolley sleeve. So I think that is really, really cool and really travel friendly. And also Amazon. Amazon has some great options for foldable jackets. There's this one here that's only $24 and it has all of these beautiful colors. And this can function just like the Uniqlo jacket and the Half Days jacket that I was just talking about. So when it comes to foldable jackets, there are plenty of options at different price points. If you want something that's outerwear, that's a layering piece that's not foldable, any quilted liner jacket, any of those sort of jackets are going to be great for layering with other outerwear pieces. You could also go with a heavier coat that's just going to be your all-around dedicated coat for that trip. What's good about these coats is that you know you'll have something that's going to keep you warm, and you could just throw that on top of whatever outfit you have and you could just let it be. I have this coat from Everlane, and when I tell you, it is so warm to the point that sometimes I get hot. So this coat is a good option. I don't have this exact version that I'm showing you here because I can't remember if I bought this last year or the year before, but this coat that I'm showing you here is very similar to the one that I have. But if you are going with a coat like this and you are traveling by plane, I would recommend that you wear it on the plane. I like to use my coat sometimes as a little blanket while I'm sitting on the plane. You can buy coats like this, especially big, long puffer coats, at a lot of different places. Another option is to go with an overcoat or a longer coat, like one of those long wool coats. So for me, these coats aren't as thick as the heavier coats that I was just mentioning, but these kinds of coats are going to keep your whole body warm, and you don't really have to compromise with looking stylish or nice either. So these coats, in my opinion, are really great for things like work trips because they help you stay warm. It's going to keep you warm, but also allows you to be a little bit, a little bit more dressy. They're also good for weddings. So keep that in mind if you're going to a winter wedding. And these coats pair really well, I think, with the foldable coats or the liners that I was talking about in the first option. A lot of them you could just kind of tuck in the edges discreetly, and you won't even know that you're wearing two coats in one. You can find these kind of coats at a lot of different places and even at thrift stores and vintage stores. I have a little pro tip here. Because these coats are a little bit nicer, and if you are flying and you don't want to wear your coat on the plane or have your coat on you throughout the duration of the flight, what you can do is pack and travel with some plastic bags. As you're boarding the plane or you're putting your stuff away, you can fold up that coat and put it in a plastic bag, and then you can take that plastic bag and put it underneath the seat in front of you or in the overhead bin. Those are two of the places, especially the overhead bin, that I imagine don't get cleaned very well. So to minimize some of that dirt transferring to your coat, I would suggest traveling with a couple plastic bags. If you're liking this video and you're finding it helpful in any way, feel free to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more travel tips. All right, so just one more type of jacket or coat that I want to talk about, and then we can move forward. And this is the interchangeable, or those kind of 2-in-1, 3-in-1 jackets. Now these are really great for travel because the layers are pretty much built in. And these are really great for casual trips, especially trips that aren't going to be too cold and you don't really need a heavy coat or a long coat, but you still need a coat and you want to stay warm. These are really really great options for that. For example, North Face has these nice tri-climate jackets. They have a good variety of them as well. There's a waterproof outer layer with a hood, and then there's an inner fleece jacket to keep you warm. So you could wear the fleece by itself, or you could wear the water resistant layer by itself, or you could wear them both for that extra warmth. Something else that you might want to think about as you're putting your winter travel essentials together is that if you live in a place that has a warmer climate, think about buying some of these essentials in that colder destination that you're going to. Now, of course, if you are tight on time and you have a really beefy schedule, you may not want to run around town trying to find winter essentials, but if you have the time and you are going to be shopping anyway, that colder destination might have better options for you than your home city, like wherever you live. The last thing in the clothing category in these travel winter essentials that I want to talk about are good pajamas. Now, I know for me, something that I like to do, I don't know if anyone else does this, but with my base layers, obviously I have my base layers that I wear underneath my clothes, but then I also have a separate set of thermals that I wear exclusively as pajamas in the winter. They keep me warm and they're really easy to pack because they're thin and they don't take up too much space in my luggage. I also make sure to have some really good thick winter socks to wear with my pajamas. Silk is also a really good material for winter pajamas because it's a good natural insulator, and most silk pajama sets are also not going to take up too much room in your suitcase, and you'll be warm at night. All right, so let's move on to accessories. The first accessory is to protect your head against the winds, and that is having something like a hat, like a beanie, or even something like a balaclava. If you are a knitter or you crochet, you can even make this yourself. I am a basic beginner at crochet, and I'm actually in the process of making myself a beanie. But I think my next big challenge, my next big crochet project that I want to work on is making myself a balaclava. And if you have curly hair like me and you are concerned about keeping it protected from creating unnecessary frizz, I totally understand. Something that you can do is get one of those satin lined beanies. I'm actually looking to get one of those myself. I know Wrap Life has some really beautiful colors and they have beautiful satin lined beanies. Next accessory are earmuffs. And these are pretty straightforward. For my curly girls, you can also put your hair up in like a bun or a pineapple or something like that, and then put a wide headband over your ears to cover and protect your ears, and then your hair is gonna protect your head. Let's talk about gloves. You'll wanna make sure that you are getting gloves, or they have gloves that are gonna keep your hands warm, but that are also touch screen friendly. Because this way you can still use all the apps, you can use Google Maps, you can use all of that while you're traveling and keep your fingers and your hands warm. Also, you can consider something like those rechargeable hand warmers, or I know they have those packs where you break them and then that pack will stay warm for a couple of hours. I also wanted to quickly talk about umbrellas. Now, this isn't something that's necessarily an essential for me, at least, but I do try to keep an umbrella in my bag as I'm traveling during winter, because you just never know when you're gonna come across a light rainfall or a light snowfall. And there are a lot of really good travel umbrellas out there, but at the same time, if you forget this and you do need one on your trip, you can always just buy a cheap one. The next essential I want to talk about is not something for everyone, so I just wanted to include it, and that is a body oil or good lotion. Winter weather can be really harsh on the skin, and it's important to keep your skin moisturized. Now, I personally don't use lotion on my body. I use exclusively body oil because I tend to have dry skin, primarily almond oil and shea butter. And I like to bring these on my travels. Now, oils are considered liquids, so there's only so much body oil I can bring on trips, but shea butter is solid until it's melted, and I can bring as much of that as I want on my travels. So just find what works for you. This is my favorite hand lotion. Stock up on it when I can. Also, I want to shout out the After Balm from Glossier. I added this to my winter, kind of like my winter skin routine. This stuff is so good for keeping your face moisturized. I use it at night, and I use it pretty much only in the winter, and it's good. It's thick, and I put it right over my moisturizer before I go to bed. It keeps my face moisturized during winter. Speaking of keeping your skin moisturized, you're also going to want to keep your lips moisturized as well, and to stop them from getting cakey and cracked. And you might want to stock up before your trip on your favorite chapstick, lip balm, Vaselines. I love Luca's Paw Paw ointment. That is my favorite. That's my go-to. It's made from papaya. Actually, I have it right here. Now for my secret winter travel essential. You may already use it, you may not, and that is a hot water bottle. These can be a little tricky to fill, but I have filled these with those little coffee makers in the hotel. And it takes a minute, but it gets the job done. And if you're staying at an Airbnb or a hotel that has a kettle, all bets are off. They squish down so thin, they're so light, they're so easy to pack with. So what I like to do with them, my feet get cold. I fill up my hot water bottle as best I can, depending on, where I am and what amenities I have. And then before I take a shower, I stick it some part in the bed, usually at the bottom where my feet are. And then when I'm ready for bed or I'm ready to just relax and lounge in bed, that area of that bed is nice and warm. Oh, it's perfect. It helps me sleep at night. You're gonna sleep like a baby. Another little tip here is to consider traveling with a backpack. Now this is gonna be a little bit harder to do, especially if you have a heavier coat, but it will keep your hands free so that you can keep gloves on. You can keep them in your pocket with little hand warmers. And traveling with a backpack is a lot of work, and that's gonna, keep your body a little bit warmer. Lastly, let's talk about shoes. I'll make this quick. Really great options, which I think for me is probably the best option for shoes for winter travel, are boots. You can get comfortable rain boots that aren't too heavy, and these are really great for places where there might be some snow on the ground. And in a lot of cities where it snows often, like New York City, they usually throw some salt on the sidewalks and on the streets to stop people from slipping. The thing about that is the salt's really great, but they can really mess up your shoes. And I find that sometimes with these rubber boots, they are really easy to clean. So as soon as you get back to your hotel or wherever you're staying, you can easily just take a damp paper towel or a damp cloth and wipe down your shoes. I also like something like a Chelsea boot that can go really well with a casual outfit like jeans and a sweater, but can also dress up really nice with like a dress and some tights. Now, if I'm flying, I also like to wear my heavier shoes on the plane. Now, also when you're going through security with these heavier shoes, especially if you have boots on, especially boots like combat boots with laces or something, I have traveled with those before. It's fine. But if you don't have TSA pre-check, you want to make sure when you're going through the line that you already have them kind of undone. You want to have shoes that if they don't have a zipper or they don't have laces, that they're easy to slip off. Also, this is a really good time to maybe think about investing in some waterproof shoes or some water resistant shoes. Having these essentials are great for winter traveling, and so is having a good piece of luggage. So if you're on the market for one or you're looking for one, definitely check out this video here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.